And the show is my home show. Today's topic is going to be about Catholic laity. Should Catholic laity today be expected to show the same level of commitment as the Ugandan Matters? Hey, too hard to understand and to believe. So that's why today I invited special guests. Let me start from where? In my left, I'm with the analysts, specialists, journalists. Aula Celestine, how are you?
Good, and you?
Fine. I can't complain.
All right.
I'm with the right person. So today I'm going to host the right person in the right show about the right topic. Which side are you? Are you going to support or to oppose this?
It depends with how the conversation flows. Let's see how the conversation flows.
All right. So, and in my right, I'm also with Brother Dennis Ondieke. Dennis, how are you?
I am fine. Yes.
How do you feel now?
I'm very comfortable, very fine.
For you, I'm not going to ask you the side at which you are. It is obvious. So, ladies and gentlemen, though I said that this is going to be a hot debate, but don't expect us that we are going to fight. No, it is not going to be fire. Why? Because it is going to be a spiritual-based debate. You want to understand, maybe we may run from this topic, from the discussions we are going to have right here. So I said already that the topic of today's debate is, should Catholic laity today be expected to show a level of commitment as the Ugandan Matters? So, as I said, we have two persons, we have two people. One is going to just to argue that Catholic laity should emulate the total commitment, sacrifice, and public witness of the Ugandan Matters, even in today's world. Is it that possible? I don't know. Maybe brother will help us, right? Yeah. Is this the right side?
Yeah, it's the very right side. Yeah.
All right, so it is obvious now you are on the other side. So the other side is going to argue that while the Matters are inspiring, expecting modern laity to live up to that standard is unrealistic and overlooks today's different context and challenges.
Yeah, it depends, because there are a lot of factors. Yeah, there are a lot of factors that contribute to that. Yeah, we can't expect lay people to live 100% the way things used to be, because there's modernization, civilization. There are a lot of changes that have taken place compared to the olden days. Yeah, so those are some of the factors that contribute to the same topic, that we can't, the lay people can't be 100% follow the footsteps of the Ugandan Matters, though their sacrifice and martyrdom was something that is recommendable. It's something that challenges us every single day as Christians, in whatever sector that you're serving in, to understand, like, how do we live Christian or Christ-like livelihoods. Yeah.
I feel like I want to support your idea. Why? Because even Jesus said, what I ask you is not difficult. I am the truth. I am the way. It is obvious. He's the only way.
That is very true.
Very true. Yeah, it is very
yeah, that
easy.
is very true. That is very true. But the reality be told, I'm not arguing that whatever the Ugandan Matters did, the kind of life they live, it's a life to be saluted.
Yeah.
It's a life to be emulated. It's a life to be copied. It's a life that most of us yearn for, like standing on your ground and is like, I'm a Christian, I'm a Christ follower, and whatever that may come, may I live to the last breath of my life serving my God, which is key in our day-to-day life. But you find, due to a lot of factors that are taking place in the world today, sometimes those sacrifices are not easy to make. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
This is true.
once you are baptized, you know, you are initiated and you are supposed to live a witnessing life as a Catholic baptized. So even if we have these challenges, maybe modernization and other difficulties which might be there, but still again we need to remain standing. We should not be having any excuse, because faith is what you live today. And the Ugandan Matters, they give us an example, a real example. Imagine they had this faith, it was in their initial stages. But today, you get that we have known what is faith, and we are experiencing it every day. And we have even the resourceful persons. It's not like those days, those people, they had to encounter very hard moment. For us now, priests are there, religious are there, brothers, we have all the facilities. So for now, I see it that it is very possible and very easy for us to live that reality. Though we give ourselves some excuses as Christians, we give ourselves some excuses, which I can say we need to come out of that. It is not hard. We can make it, and we are able. We have all the capabilities and the energies to do that.
So to be clear, those excuses are not relevant.
I can say they are not like relevant, because we have all the platforms, we have all the possibilities of knowing the faith. We are taught in the churches. We have even nowadays we can even have some online issues. If you want to maybe go deeper your faith, you can go in the online faces and get everything you need about faith. Compared to those people who died in Uganda, you know, for them, they were in the very beginning. They just believed, and they died for that. For us now, we know deeply from the priest side, from the religious side, and even our catechists all over. They are trying to break the faith to us in daily life. So it is very easy for us to stand by that faith.
Yeah, you said it's something very, very important. That is their time. Their time was in 1886, right?
Yes.
So why should we draw an example to someone who lived, and that person also was drawing examples from Jesus. Jesus is the only way and the truth.
Yeah.
Why should we following those examples of human beings? Are like
I think here, first of all, we just need to define who is a lay person. Who is, when we're talking about the day of the laity, what are we talking about? Because that is the context of our argument. So, Brother Ondek, if you could explain who are lay people.
Yeah, the lay people, these are the Christian baptized. They are baptized initially in the church. They have gone through the catechesis and they are baptized. These are the ones we call the lay. They are not priests.
Exactly.
Because the priests, they range in the clergy. We can have even like some religious sisters and brothers. They are not called laity.
Yeah.
So we have the laity, like married people. They fall under the line of laity. Yeah.
And they are serving the church.
Yeah, they are serving the church.
So that's where my argument comes in. Like we can't be 100% emulators of the Ugandan Martyrs, because you find the laity people right now are married people in the church with responsibilities. So they cannot spend their 100% time in the church, because if you are a father serving in the church, right, you have school fees to pay, you have a family to feed. So that's where you find now we are having a difference, because back then, if we argue in the old days, you find even the martyrs, people who have, martyrs are people who died because of their faith, they accepted death and stuff like that. But if you dig deeply into their lives, you find they were only living to serve the church and to teach about Jesus. So that was their only responsibility. And you find back then, every home you would go and visit would escort you or give you something to take back to your family, right? You know, even let's just speak about even our priests. Anytime a priest would come, we always prepare something for the priest. Now, I'm a catechist. I come to your home to teach about the good news of Jesus, or to teach the children, and then I leave. How many homes will give a catechist a hen, a goat, to carry back home to his or her family?
And even here in Rwanda, it is very simple. We no longer offer those kind of gift or offerings. We just use them or more. It is very simple. So how many families are ready to...
It's just a matter of understanding, because, you know, once we realize that these people, they are serving us directly. Maybe if it's the catechist is serving on behalf of the priest, the local priest, maybe in the parish. So if he's there and he's coming to offer those services, the laity has, I can say they have like a responsibility to congratulate him, to thank him, because this man or lady, they have left their family to come and bring those services which maybe the priest could bring. So maybe not giving or not doing that, I can say maybe we need to think about it. We need to support them because they are working for us and they are nurturing our faith. You know, like many religious we get, many big people we get in the church, they are nurtured by these people. Even the vocations in the church, they are starting from the catechist. So the lay person, they have the responsibility to take care of them and support them in their mission. Yeah.
So now we are talking about the Ugandan Matters, what they used to do in their time. So let's be now clear. What we are talking about, and we kept saying Ugandan Matters. What was the role of the laity in the story of the Ugandan Matters?
The laity had a very big responsibility. Remember, they were not religious that time. It was in the beginning. If they could be there, maybe they are those missionaries. So they had a very major role in that time. They had to witness. They are the basis of the faith in Uganda. Because if you see, if they could maybe go the other side and maybe give in to the king and do what he wanted, I may say we could not have faith by now. But because of them, this faith developed. Because they stood and they witnessed Christ without wondering or caring about what will be the repercussions of that. So they had a very major role, and that's why we have that strong faith in Uganda. Yeah.
That is a very nice definition. Do you think that even today, can lay people still serve the church with the same passion and sacrifice?
Indeed. I think they have that responsibility, because now, as I said earlier, we have all the possibilities of getting to know about our faith. We have everything is there, the technology is there, so you cannot say that I don't know. We have all the chances to know the word, to know the faith. So they have all the opportunities to live a witnessing life, regardless of the challenges we face. Yeah.
Celestine,
Yes.
we are talking about two different times. We are talking about the time of Ugandan Matters in 1886.
Yeah.
Now 139 years ago. Yes, Brother Dennis is saying that now we have opportunities, we have chances, we have technology. And he's supporting that even today, lay people can still serve the church with the same passion. That's true.
It's I can support it's true. It's just that with a lot of modernization also, you find sometimes, okay, we have a lot of argument. What is the role of lay people in our churches? Is to teach the word, reach out to people, you go to different places, take the word of God and preach. But you find the challenges that lay people face is what is preventing them from living 100% like the way the martyrs used to live back then. Right, you know, long time ago, people used even to walk long distances without feeling like I've walked miles and miles. Right now, you tell me to walk from Kigali to, let's say, Nyanza. Nyanza is even close by, where Nyirangarama. I'll be like, no, how do you want me to walk? Because our mentality, there's a mindset that has also that has shifted from the olden days. I just want to do things that are closer to my vicinity, like the things. But you see, back then, people would walk without even minding the miles that they've covered. And back then also, there was a lot of community. Yes, and like right now, sometimes you go to talk to people, they look at you like, who are you? What do you want from us? Because of a lot of civilization, if I may call it. Because now, if I don't know you, I can't mingle with a stranger. Even if the stranger is bringing good news to us, very few people will accept to listen to you. And therefore you find mission also has challenges. You understand? Those are the things that sometimes some lay people experience, and then they get discouraged. Unlike back then. You understand? And also right now, with a lot of social media and devices that have, because you find, okay, we are reading this book of the Bible, I get my phone. Because right now, with our devices, we have rosary prayers, we have Bibles, we have, so somebody will be like, why should I sit here and listen to you while I can just go Google and learn more about this topic? So those are the dynamics that are now bringing a lot of the differences between how the martyrs, the Ugandan martyrs, lived their life back then and the kind of life that the lay people are living right now. Because again, sometimes lay people think about their responsibilities and they now limit the sacrifices that they can make. If I think of going out of Kigali, I think of how I'm going to leave my family, how my family is going to be fed, how my family is going to fare around for the 3-4 days that I'll be out there. So if I feel like I don't have enough to live for them to eat, I won't go for that long. Because I'll be like, oh, if I go, what will happen to them back then? And also, because of the mentality, before I go out also, I start asking myself, how many people will listen to me? How many people are also ready to listen to the word of God? Because we are in a dynamic world that has a lot of things that are going on. And that's why you see even some of our children are losing their identity in the process of exploring, because they want to know what is in the other side of the world. Yes. Yeah, my mom, my dad is a Christian, I'm brought up in a Catholic home, and this is what I've been taught from childhood. Then this one who is not a Catholic, how is he or she living his or her life? So sometimes you find, you go to talk to some teenagers, and they look at you like, why are you wasting our time? Like, it's time. We can read our Bibles using our phones. We can listen to preachings. We can do all these things on our devices. Why should we sit down to listen to you. So sometimes they feel like it's a waste of time. And the lay people who are out to do this mission sometimes feel discouraged. So that's why you find, yes, it's possible, but it's not also 100% possible for the lay people to live 100% like the Ugandan Matters.
Maybe I'd like to say something, you know, because maybe of modernization, the laity, especially parents, they have a major role. If our children, they are going astray, the first person to be blamed is the parent. You have a parental responsibility to make sure this boy or girl of yours has the basics, because you know, these our children, you find that they lose way when we find they don't have the basic, the strong foundation. So a parent or a guardian who is under this, the care of these children, has a major responsibility, because this faith is not just something you just take and put on someone. You nurture it.
Yeah.
You have to start it from the tender age. Then you make sure, even if your boy, your girl is old, you have to at least check how this person is growing with this faith, because they are meeting at school, colleges, everywhere, and there are so many interactions. It's very easy for them to lose the way. So as a parent, a lady who knows the responsibility, you have that opportunity, so that you should not lose this person. Yeah.
But do you also agree with me that most of our parents are nowadays so busy that sometimes some of them don't focus on faith-based
That
talks
is a very sad
and
reality.
conversations at home?
Yeah. It's a very sad reality when you try to see, not even only faith, even other issues, you find children are left there, maybe with their nanny. The parents have very little time. So it's just a very sad reality, and that's how faith is tempered with these days. Because they need to get it from the parents, then they grow with it. If the parents have no time, they'll fight for themselves, and maybe they may go even outside the faith. Yeah, because they have no choice.
No, they have no choice. Brother Dennis, do you think with this sad reality, the martyrdom is still a relevant model for lay commitment today? Or are there more practical forms of witness?
Yeah, I can say there is a reality of living martyrdom today. You know, we are living in a very vibrant world these days. And as a Christian, as a laity, the Catholic baptized one who is very strong, you have a lot to endure. You see, you are in the office, there are so many things happening around you, which as a Christian you can say, no, this is not right. That's how you show your martyrdom in our days today, because we don't believe maybe as such about those maybe physical torture which like our martyrs went through. Today I can call it white martyrdom. You do it at your workplace and all over where you are living, it has to be seen. There are so many things which it needs your decisions. You find, for example, you are working in an office, there is some like corruption is going on, and then as a Christian, as a laity who knows his responsibility, you have to say no. Once you say no, they may not like you, they may disrespect you, they may even dismiss you from that job. But because you know your values as a lay Catholic, you can say no, and even if you lose it, the truth also always should stand. You should stand by the truth. That's how you witness as a martyr, a living martyr. Yes.
Hey. We are still on this sad reality.
Yeah, those are, like 100%, those are the realities of life. And right now, I love the way he put it, like the white martyrdom, because you find a lot is happening in our world today, and sometimes you are being forced to compromise a lot. Yeah, especially at our workplaces or even in the society. Because sometimes the tune that you're dancing to, not everybody is ready to dance to such a tune. And sometimes you're either forced to convince people to dance to the tune, or you abandon it. Because like if nobody is dancing to the same music, then you have to look for other ways to make them join the tune. So you find these comes as sacrifices that we have to make in order to preach the gospel or do. And now if you are not patient enough with whatever you're doing, and if you're not passionate enough, this is the point whereby somebody comes and loses hope. Because I'm like, why am I doing this? Why should I sacrifice too much while nobody? Remember, we are also human beings, and that part can never be forgotten. Yes, as much as we want to live like Christ-like livelihood or follow the footsteps of Christ, sometimes there is a human beat part of us that when clicked, you forget about it and you're like, I'm tired, and Jesus, I'm sorry, but I can't do this. That's the reality. Because sometimes you feel like I've sacrificed too much, I've done too much, and people are not, because, you know, we are human beings. Of course, we're not doing it for people to acknowledge or not doing it for any recognition. You're doing it because I'm preaching out there, I'm reaching out to many out there so that they can change their lives, just like the way John the Baptist came to prepare the way. So he was out in the wilderness preaching and baptizing people, and many followed the faith. Even before seeing Jesus Christ, they just had this voice in the wilderness and followed. But look at the life of John the Baptist. He was living in the wilderness, surviving on wild honey and locusts. Now tell a modern person right now, go in the wilderness and survive on locusts. First of all, the first question I'll ask is, how do I eat locusts?
You know, it's a very it's a
Though we don't know where we can find them now.
Yeah, no, but those are the realities.
Yeah,
so
sadly, reality.
yes. So I'll start thinking, like, how am I supposed to go to Huye, or where is it so deep? Huye is a bit of a town. How am I supposed to go there and start preaching to the people there, start eating food without oil? Is it really worth it? So before you set off as a lay person, you start asking yourself those are questions because of what is happening in the world right now. And back then, people used to accept rejection, pain, with a lot of humility, which we are lacking right now. We don't have patience. When you are faced with challenges, we grumble, we groan, you question, why must I do this? So that's why now you find we are still, we read about martyrs, we talk about them, but getting people in the modern world who are living 100% the same way martyrs were doing, it's very rare.
It is very rare, but the moment you are able to endure those challenges, however difficult they are, whichever the case, if you are able to at least, not 100% as human beings, we know we fall. But if you try as much as possible, even if you not get 100%, that is now a white martyrdom. You are able to witness to the whole world, to yourself, that I didn't die like those martyrs maybe in the past, but at least I witnessed with the little I have, because there are some people, they sacrifice a lot. They can even give some donations. They have, and they can go extra mile to give others. So these are kind of sacrifices which show how martyrdom still it is in our world today, not necessarily doing bigger things. You find maybe as a lay person, you are having enough in the house. You see somebody's child is struggling, suffering somewhere. You just adopt that child. That's another form of martyrdom. You are sacrificing. That sacrifice now in our today's world, we can term it as white martyrdom. You are sacrificing and you don't count the costs. You are just taking this person, okay, let me help this person come up. Because maybe I saw my colleague or my friend there cannot manage it. Yeah.
No, but that was happening a lot back then because there was trust. But in today's world, before I take somebody into my house, I'll question. No, guys, let's be realistic here.
So who stole that trust?
Because it's not like who stole it, but a lot is happening.
Changes.
Yes.
Yeah.
I might accommodate him. I welcome him to my place. But he had a mission in my house. One day I wake up, I find my house has been swept clean. You understand?
Yeah.
So you find these are the realities that are happening on the streets today. You will find somebody, a child on the streets, but before you even help that child as an adult, you start looking around. Hey, if I start helping this child, will people come from the bushes to attack? No, because some of those incidences have happened.
Yeah.
So, because we've lost trust, you find even the 7 corporal works of mercy no longer exist with a lot of passion. Or I want to help, but I want to help indirectly. Because first of all, I'll question, hey, but this brother Dennis, whom is he working for? Who is he working with? Before I help. But you know, back then, like reality be said, when we were growing up, back then, leave alone this Gen Z's era, you are not your parents' child alone.
Yeah.
If an adult finds you on the street doing something that is wrong, they'll correct you on the spot without thinking that this is so and so's child, or I don't know.
BT.
Yes. But right now, I'll be walking on the street and I see a child doing something that is wrong. I'll look on the other side because I'm like, I'll go to correct this child, and before I know it, the mother is on me. Why are you correcting my child? Who gave you that responsibility?
That is the cost of martyrdom now. That is the cost. That is what that struggle, you know, you are not supported. People may not like it, but now as the truth of the matter, you have to correct as a parent. But it's very hard because of the experiences we have. Parents, they'll question, who are you to correct my child? But as a Christian martyr living a witnessing life today, we should not run away from that reality. It is very hard, but we should try, even at the highest level, to try to help this person, because that's our martyrdom today. It doesn't matter.
Then, brother Dennis, why should we risk our reputation?
We are.
You should leave the child, then you pray for the child when you are home safe.
Praying is another case. It's another case, but on the spot, you know, some things they need immediate action. Parents may not like it, but we have a responsibility. That's how we have to live our witnessing life. They will not like it, and as we know, even this
at the same time, you are also risking your reputation.
Yeah, you are risking.
You are putting your life into danger.
When you see this martyrdom, you see they had to do something extra. They were not supported, and as a martyr, people will despise you because you are maybe going against what they like. So today, which is a very challenging situation, you have to do that reality with a lot of caution, because you may even end up in jail. You may end up in jail.
That's what I was saying. You are endangering your life.
You have to make sure you get it right. How to maybe convince them, because you are doing something good, not something bad. You have to look for the way to convince them, so that now that white martyrdom can be seen. They say, okay, this parent was helping my son or daughter.
No,
endangering your life.
Yeah, you're putting yourself out there, which is okay. But the way the world right now is, I remember one time I was just walking on the street and accidentally two cars, because it was a narrow road, hit each other like on the sides when they were trying to pass each other. And then the shopkeeper came out, because these people started arguing, no, you knocked my car, and the other one was like, no, I didn't. I was just... So the shopkeeper, as an eyewitness, came out and was like, you know the reality of the matter? This lady asked you for the way, but you, with your... One was a lady and the other one was a gentleman driving. So the guy thought he could pass, and then accidentally, I don't know what really happened. So he insisted that the lady knocked the car. And then the man who came out, now the shopkeeper, was trying to tell them, no, you don't have to call the police. What you need to do is talk about it. Where has she knocked? Like, is it a big damage? Is it something that we can see? The man started abusing this man. Why are you coming into this matter? Why are you minding a business that is not yours? Now, this came out as a well-wisher, trying to reconcile them and tell them, you know what, guys, you don't need to call the police in this matter. You can just talk about it and finalize everything. If you want her to pay, you just tell her how much she needs to pay, so that she can pay. You go your way, she goes her way. Because all of you are now wasting time here. The 20 minutes, 30 minutes, 1 hour that you are wasting here arguing, you could have been somewhere very important.
Yeah.
And you have people in the car. But the way the man came out was like, who are you? Why? You understand? So
Can you
now
mind
tell
your own
me,
business?
yeah, as any other person who was around there, when you see such an incident next time, would you wish to be part of it? I don't want to be abused.
Yeah, you
So
have to
the
protect
next
your
thing I'll be
reputation.
like, oh no.
That is the reality we need
is a
to
gift
live.
from God.
That's the
Why should we
reality.
endanger our life? I need an answer, the answer for this question.
That is the reality we need to live. When it's very hard, you know, the cost of that is when now you are going to witness. You see, you need to witness at that time. He will not like it. He may abuse you. But since you have a good intention, maybe, who knows, the good intention you have may lower that person's anger, and you will be witnessing by that. So you have to take the cost. Martyrdom, it will not just come like that. You have to sacrifice. There must be a painful sacrifice.
You have to pay the cost, in other
You have
words.
to pay that cost.
Okay, so let's come back up to this. I like what you called dance or live. Now, with this, how can Catholic lay people balance secular responsibilities with their mission in the church?
First of all, as a lay person, what you need to do is understand your role. What is my role in the church as a lay person? Once I understand my role as a lay person in the church, it cannot interfere, nothing else can interfere with the way I live my life, because it's all about sacrifices. And if I'm ready to make these sacrifices, then I'm ready to live for Christ, right?
Yeah.
So there's nothing else that can interfere with this. And that's why a lot of deep soul searching should be done. Don't just say, okay, I want to be a catechist just for the sake of being recognized or doing things so that people could acknowledge that, oh, this is a great person doing this and that. No. Why am I a catechist? Or why am I serving in a certain area in the church? Why did I accept to be a leader in the church, leading my community? What is expected of me? as a leader of a community, and in different other sectors in the church, because lay people, their work is to serve in the church. So if you don't understand your role fully in the church, that's where when these are the winds come, the waves come, you tend to be swept away. But if you really understand your role and responsibility as a lay person in the church, you are able to lead that kind of life fully. But the challenges we are facing is like some are called, some are not called. Some are doing it conditionally, either to gain something out of it. Not like I'm doing it because I love Christ and I want to serve and I want to see people transformed through me, or people learning more about Jesus Christ through me. But like even the parable of the sower, Jesus gave the parable very well, that the sower went out to sow the seeds. Some fell on the rocky, some fell on the rock, some fell on the path, some fell on the thorns, and when the thorn grew, it choked it. The ones on the path, when people were walking, they stepped on them and they died. The rock ones tried to sprout, but because it was a rock, there was nowhere the roots could go. And the ones that fell on the good grounds bore fruits, grew and bore some fruits. So the same as even our call as laity people in the church today. When you understand your responsibility and what you're doing and who you are serving, you are able to give fruits of what you're doing. But if you don't understand really what's your responsibility, or you are just there for a certain reason, then when some challenges come, that's when you drift off. Because what is secular? This is the social life, the things that are happening in our world today, right? So when you deeply don't understand what you are doing, then you are easily able to live and go and follow a different direction. And this is what is happening. Oh, so and so was used to be, yeah, but he left. Oh, she left. Why did she leave? Oh, this and that. But somebody who really understands, even if I come and try to convince you, this chair you're sitting on is green and not red, and you know that it is red, you're like, by the way, come to think of it, I thought it was red. There is a person who doesn't understand what he or she is doing. So you are easily shifted. Yeah, but if you understand, even if I come and try to tell you, no, this is not red, it is pink, you'll be like, you are colorblind, this is red. And you stick to that. You can't be moved easily. You understand? But if you don't understand what you are doing, those are the kind of people you find, when the waves, when the storm come, they say bye.
Lukewarm souls.
Exactly.
So now do we have what it takes to serve the church? So the church we are talking about.
Before the balancing, how they can balance, you know, a parent or a laity, they have to know the responsibilities. And you know, in the church, is from the family we get all the vocations. So if a father is doing his responsibility correctly, the mother is doing the responsibility correctly, the children also, then they are able to balance. You see now, I can sadly say that many parents, they are just centered on their family, thinking my boy should go to this, should do this, piling things for the family. They are centered only in the family. But if we could open ourselves all over that, now we need to balance this life. I'm serving my family, but again I have to serve God through other people, not only to be centered in my own family.
Mm.
So they can try to balance it. It is easy and it is possible, because this cross we are given, it is not impossible cross. We are able to carry it. Yeah, so they have to balance as a parent or a laity. You do your responsibility well. Only doing that very well, it means you are even witnessing. Your children, they are not struggling. Your family is stable. But again, you have an extra hand to offer outside. That's a very good witnessing life. And you are able now to balance between the two, the family life and the secular life.
You both say something very crucial, serving the church, serving God. Are the church structures today doing enough to equip and support the laity in active evangelization?
The church has a big responsibility, and in the way our church is structured, sometimes maybe the laity can feel like this thing should be done by maybe the religious, the clergy, and this should be done by the laity. There is that little challenge. How I wish that we could know that when you are serving, you don't have the boundaries. But you know what you are not supposed to do in the church. But doing good, there is no boundaries. And witnessing Christ, there is no boundaries. You have to witness whichever way, maybe in bigger way or small way, you have to live a witnessing life. And the church has supported that, though for the laity, it is very hard for them to discover and understand this reality.
Yeah. No, that is very true, because you find mostly, like in the church, we understand the works of the clergy. And even as you go through your catechism classes, you know, we analyze holy orders. What are the stages? What are their roles in the church? Now, as lay people, what are our limitations and what are our responsibilities in the church? So if you understand, I can never compete with a priest. I can never compete with the clergy, because that's an office of its own. It's like when you're employed in a company. You have the director, you have the HR, you have the CEO, you have all those. It's the hierarchy that follows. So even in the church, it's the same. I know which office I can knock at what time, and what I can do at a certain time, and what I'm not supposed to do. You understand? Because everybody knows their responsibilities and roles in the church. I cannot stand right now and say I'm going to baptize people. No, I have not been given that authority. Yes. I cannot go and stand on the altar and the priest is there and start preaching or giving homily, because I know that is, or reading the gospel, because I know that is not my responsibility. So the structures in the church help us know what are our responsibility, what is the office of the clergy, what are the responsibilities of the clergy, and what are the responsibilities of the lay people. So once you know that, I think you can never have any clashes or argument, because you know where you're supposed to be. I cannot go and start competing with the office of the clergy as a lay person.
What are the modern examples where laity have shown great courage or sacrifice for the faith?
There are so many. There are so many. These days, you find like we have these small Christian communities. You may find like the Catholic women, they are gathering together, they collect some few maybe saints, like some, I can call them some small things, and then they want to go and visit maybe an orphanage, or they want to visit an old person somewhere, or somebody who is sick somewhere, or go even to the prison to see the prisoners. Those are very, you can see them like very small little things, but they are a very big and meaningful thing in their witnessing life. There are so many things they are doing, but you have to understand. If you don't understand, you may think they are just going, showing off, moving around, but they bring a very big impact in the life of the church. Yeah.
Yeah, that's Celestine, does the church place any realistic expectations on lay people?
Unrealistic. Okay. They can't be unrealistic once they understand their responsibility and expectations. Because, like we've talked about the structures, we know, like, this office of the laity, what are their responsibilities in the church? The clergy, what are their responsibilities in the church? Because that's where the genesis of it all, or the basic foundation. Once every group of people in the church know, like, this is our responsibility, then whatever that comes their way that is not realistic, they will avoid it. Yeah, because I'll be like, oh, I can't do that. That is not my responsibility. As a catechist or as a leader of this community, what I'm supposed to do is work on this and that. But when you come to, let's say, for example, the appointment of priests in the church, we contribute none to it. That is the decision of the bishop and his team, right? Imagine, as lay people or as Christians, we go and tell bishop, we don't want this priest and that. That is being unrealistic, because we are now getting into a docket that is not ours. So that's why I'm like, when we have the structures, get to know our responsibilities, you find it is very hard to do what is not required of us. So it's just everybody understanding. This is our office, this is the office of this, and it has to be respected. And where there is respect, I love the Catholic Church because you will never find us with there are some unrealistic wars that you find in other churches that sometimes I'm like, wow. But it's because people don't understand their responsibilities and get to know what they are supposed to do and who is supposed to head this. Because you will find people arguing over money, people arguing over leadership, people arguing over... But you see, for us, even how the church is being run, even the Parish Council, the committee, this committee is designed in a way that they know I'm serving for 3 years or 2 years, depending with the constitution of the church in that area. So after my 2 years, I am free to leave the office, not unless if people feel fit that I should continue with the office. But you find also there's a limitation. You cannot leave for more than 2 terms. You understand? So everybody knows, like, our parish council, this committee will serve for 2 or 3 years, depending with the constitution that is in that parish. So after the 2-3 years, they have to elect new leaders. So when you understand that, you respect that. And therefore, any other expectation that does not belong into your office...
the church has given everything realistically. It has kept everything in because it knows that these are my laity, these are my people. They are supposed to go like this way, do this and not do this. So there is no maybe unexpected thing that the church has given to the laity. They have given everything according to the standard of the faithful. They are supposed to be like this, they are supposed to do this. It has given everything very correctly. And if in any case somebody is not satisfied, there is a room always. We see in our parishes, we have days when the lay can meet the local parish priest and talk to him. This is when they can express their dysfunctions. If they are not satisfied, that is the time they go and talk to their priest and they express what they are not happy with. So the church has put everything in a very perfect order, and it cannot demand something more extra which the faithful cannot be able to get or reach.
That is clear. Now, is it fair to compare the Ugandan Matters time of persecution to today's reality for the laity?
I can say it's not fair. It's not fair because things have changed and we cannot continue living in history.
139 years
Imagine 139 years ago, things have changed. And now, as I said, we have modernization, we have digital things, and the world has evolved completely. So we cannot remain in those 139 years ago. We have to embrace the new changes and live the reality of today. We witness today itself, not the history life. But that history, remember, it's the one which will shape us. We have to borrow some of the things, but it will not affect our modern life today.
Yeah, that's the reality because it's 139 years ago. A lot has changed. The world is evolving. Even take an example of Kigali. The Kigali we live in today is not the Kigali that was there some 10, 20 years ago. There's a lot of changes, you understand. So we have also to learn to move with the dynamics of the current world. Yes. So one thing, back then people used to do door to door. Right now we are in PACIS TV trying to evangelize. We are using the modern way of reaching out to people. So we should embrace the modernity. What's happening in the modern world right now? How do we evangelize? And that's why you find we have morning meditation. We receive it via our WhatsApp, YouTube. We have spiritual bites. Different priests are coming up with so many ways to reach out to many. We get our gospel, we get the homilies at the comfort of our home. Sometimes we don't have to walk miles and miles. So those are the changes that have taken place right now in the modern world, the dynamics, you understand. So back then, of course, it's not like we are blaming them, but that is the reality they were living back then. There were no development and everything else. But of course, if you come right now, what are the best ways of reaching out to many? So we have to embrace the reality. If I want to reach the youth, I have to...
You go to TikTok.
Exactly. Exactly. You understand? Yeah, I need to learn how to use the Snapchat and all those things. Because those are the realities of the life right now. Because depending with also your audience and the people you're targeting. Yes.
Then now we come to the last question. What lessons from the Ugandan Matters should shape how the laity lives today?
Maybe I will say there are many lessons we can learn. Discipleship has no compromise. Once you've decided that you are becoming a Christian, you should not compromise at all. You have to give yourself the whole self. Irrespective of the difficulties, the challenges you may encounter, you should not give an excuse. Discipleship, following Christ, needs a very big sacrifice. So you have to know that before saying, I'm going to be baptized and become a Catholic Christian. So discipleship has to come from within. You have to know the cost of that discipleship. As we learn from the Ugandan Matters, you can remember even there was a very young person there who died, Kagwa. He was very young. Imagine at that tender age, dying as a witness. So it doesn't matter how old you are, how young you are. You have to pay that cost, irrespective of all this. So that's a very big lesson I learned from those Ugandan Matters.
Yeah, there are several lessons that can shape our lives. A lot of sacrifices at their tender age. we can talk about virtue, a firm disposition of a habit they had acquired at that tender age. Most of them were young, but they knew what they wanted, and they knew who they are serving, which is a challenge to the modern world right now. So when we read more about them, there's so many lessons that we can learn from them. There are a lot of things that we can copy from them that can shape our day-to-day Christian life. You understand? Because you find, we've talked about the lukewarm souls, because sometimes it's either you're hot or cold. You need to make up your mind.
Just one side.
So if you're hot, you're hot. If you're cold, you're cold. Yes. So the choices that we make, no, you can't be in between. You have to be on one side. Yeah, if I'm hot, I'm hot. If I'm cold, I'm cold. So there's nothing like I'm lukewarm, I'm in between there. So those are some of the things that we can learn from them, because at that age, when they embraced the Christianity, when they opened up to it, they were like, okay, this is the right direction, and this is the direction that we want to follow. We are not turning back. They are leaving everything besides. Even after the threats and everything else, they decided to live their lives. Just the same way Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego chose to live their life. Even when the king came and threatened them, they were like, it's okay. You can just throw us in fire, but we know that the God we serve will come
save us.
and save us. But if also he allows us to die, we are going to a better place. When you understand where you are going, you will follow that direction no matter the pain that comes with it, the sacrifices that come with it. You will embrace it, because that's the path that you've chosen.
That's the cost.
That is the cost
of discipleship.
Yes.
It's not easy, but you have to pay it. To become a true disciple, you have to pay it.
So don't you think that you are making those who are watching now, you are making them fear what we were discussing? You remind them that there is a cost to be paid.
I don't
Paying
think
is not
they should
something
not
very easy.
fear. They should not fear, because
why?
Nothing comes just like that.
Exactly.
Even in the normal life, we live every today, you cannot get BW'ITERANO without working for that. You have to work for that and get. So even for our faith, to get the eternal life, we have to give sacrifice. There is a sacrifice we have to make. You may get all the pains, but you know where you are heading to. As my sister said, that you must know where you are going. Once you know, I'm going, this is what I'm looking for, and it will lead me to this, then you will not care about the cost. You just find yourself in that way.
Wow, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, with this we come to the end of our show, but I cannot wrap up our today's conversation without reminding those who are watching PACIS TV from our YouTube channel, please subscribe. Remember to subscribe. Please do it right now. But also, while you are doing that, I want to remind you that, as our today's guest highlighted, know the cost. By serving God, His church, you should know the cost. It doesn't matter how old you are. You have to pay the cost.
Sacrifices have to be made.
Yes, that's correct. So actually, that's the essence of our life. So thank you very much for being with us in our today's debate. As I said earlier, this was a spiritual-based debate. So thank you, Aola, for being with us.
Thank you for inviting us too. For giving us this opportunity to air out our views. Thank you.
I hope this was just insightful discussions.
Thank you.
Brother Dennis, thank you so much for being with us.
Welcome. It's a pleasure.
I also want to thank Lillian and Ephraim for investing their efforts for this show to be nice. So my name is Feliesti. Thanks so much for watching. See you next time. Stay blessed.